Hello everyone and welcome to your Monday morning gaming news. My name is Jules Gill and I'm joined by the only man who I would ever let send me on a fetch quest to collect 100 feathers and still come back with a smile on my face.
Very good.
Scott Tailford.
I never know where they're going to go, and sometimes they're a bit...
I like to keep you on your toes.
I do, I'm forever on my toes, forever alert, forever aware of the content brewing.
But if we're together...
Would you like some? Yes.
It means only one thing. It's time to hit that jingle.
Hot dang, this news, give it all you got. I guess it's time for Jules and Scott.
Oh,
sweet Lord.
God, that Animus trip is really starting to play havoc with my back, because today we are talking about Assassin's Creed. Now, personally, I'm kind of like a lapsed fan on this series. I really enjoyed the first one because of how original its sort of take on the gameplay was. I really liked Assassin's Creed 2 because of how like crazy everything got.
The golden era.
I kind of dropped off around 3, came back for Black Flag, and then I've been sort of like dipping in and out as the series went on. But it is Ubisoft's flagship, pun intended, when you consider the amount of naval combat they've got in it. They are constantly working on how to make this series better and keep it relevant. And they obviously moved away from a yearly release cycle to make the games better. With some successes, Odyssey and what was the one before that, Origins?
It's weird, because like Origins was the end of 2017, then they immediately pumped out Odyssey and everyone went, can you calm down? So they've taken a little bit of a step back.
Which is absolutely fair. I mean, I like the fact that they're trying to expand more into sort of mythology and things like that.
Yeah.
But obviously the question is, what is the new one going to be?
So there's a post on Reddit which has been subsequently deleted, although it has been picked up by a bunch of different websites. So take all this stuff with a grain of salt, but assumedly it's true, we'll find out.
Surely it's not a grain, it's a pinch then. And it's not
a pinch,
it's a grain? It's a ladle then.
A small hidden blade's worth.
Just dip your face in salt and you'll be safe.
So the next game, which has already been rumored for a while now, is called Assassin's Creed Ragnarok, which is already a badass name. The idea of a Viking-themed Assassin's Creed has been rumored for a while. It was included in the Division 2. There was a poster of an assassin holding a piece of Eden, and they were already dressed as a Viking, so that kind of got the ball rolling. But the latest thing, there's this big old deep dive that's on Reddit, which, like I say, has been deleted, but it does give us a handful of different details, including a reveal date and some gameplay stuff and things like that.
So obviously, if it's been deleted, that could be for one of two reasons. Either the person who posted it was full of crap, or because of the fact they were like, oh god, we've got to get rid of this.
Yeah, it tends to only be one of two things most of the time.
That's interesting. Now, I immediately have some questions about this, because of the fact, obviously, God of War, hugely successful, delve a lot into Norse mythology. So knowing that we're going to have a game that possibly treads on the same ground as that, how do you feel about that? Because sometimes it's like, you do want to look like you're aping somebody else's formula. But if this is going to be like Naval, sailing around, seeing Loki, here we go, all right, mate.
It's almost like a greatest hits of like sort of Norse mythology, which like Assassin's Creed has done in the past. That used to be its sort of hook, like you go to a certain place, like in AC3, you drop into America and you get to hang out with different people, and oh look, they're signing the Declaration of Independence, and that's you in the corner.
We do have to address something very quickly. Like, you've stopped being an assassin. Like, there's next to no stealth when you're literally having hordes of armies coming and chasing you down. And
they ditched the hidden blade in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and they give you a spear instead, which they then made it so
the stealthiest of weapons, a spear.
Well, but it was like the tip; it was like broken off, and then they made it so that spear became the hidden blade in Origins.
Gotcha.
It's a weird old thing. But let me read out some details, and then we can sort of think about what we'd like Assassin's Creed to be.
Fantastic.
One of the first things is the reveal date is February 12th, 2020, which is the same day as the also rumored PlayStation Meeting 2020, which is apparently when they're showing off the PS5.
That would make a lot of sense to actually launch alongside the new hardware, because of what a great way to show it off. And like I said, if this is Ubisoft's flagship title, then it would make a lot of sense for them to be like, right, well, let's make sure that everyone has got eyes on it, because everyone's going to be looking at the...
Plus, I mean, Unity was such a tire fire, but like their whole phrase back then, Ubisoft's whole thing, their whole company mandate was the next generation starts here, and it didn't. So if they want to reclaim that territory and be like, here's an absolutely brand spanking new, glorious looking Assassin's Creed like Mama used to make, then they would probably do that in February alongside the new system.
Okay, cool.
So maybe. February 12th is apparently when that's going to be the PlayStation Meeting Day and the new reveal of the game itself. Name is Assassin's Creed Ragnarok. The rumored date for the PS5's actual release date is November 20th. But again, all this stuff is rumored. But again, it makes sense that you'd have an Assassin's Creed on launch like they did back in the day. So maybe. But in terms of game-specific stuff, this is apparently going to be set in Scandinavia and parts of England.
Okay.
Which lines up with the Viking stuff.
That would be very, very cool.
Especially, give me some furs.
I mean, this is the thing. I hope that they actually play a lot into our history on this dinky little island that we are so very, very proud of, because like we did get attacked quite a lot by like Viking raiding parties.
I don't know history at all.
That's absolutely fine. I mean, I'm only basing this off of the the really weird. But my mum used to read these book series called Cadfael, which is literally like a monk who.
Sounds like a metal band.
It should be.
Yeah.
It was a monk who solved mysteries.
That's the best premise to do that.
I know.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, but he basically talked about like Viking parties coming in. And then obviously we've got Vikings, the TV show, which dealt a lot with that as well. So if we can get any of that similar thing, I just want the face paint.
Yes.
Face paint is all I want.
I want the face paint, I want some furs, and I want an axe. But the thing is, just because I'll get to more gameplay stuff, but it is, like you said, you're not really playing as an assassin anymore, especially in Odyssey. It was like, you can do the Spartan kick and you can level entire armies. Setting it in like a Viking sort of tone or whatever, it lends more weight to the fighting side. No one, there's not been a single stealthy Viking. That's not a thing that exists.
Not at all.
So it's like, it reminds me more of something like For Honor in terms of the character design and the way that you played that game was just all out combat. And I mean, we'll get to more stuff, but I hope they start to balance it again, because Odyssey was just a full-on action game. You could take people apart bit by bit and go through encampments, but you might as well just go in with your Spartan kicks and your big superpowers.
I'm also a bit sort of like immediately concerned that like Viking raiding party doesn't paint anything in a morally good sense, does it?
No.
It is a raiding party. You are literally going and taking other people's stuff because you can't be bothered to make your own stuff.
Well, you could be the one wholesome Viking that wants to do it properly or something.
Maybe, but I just remember that what they did was they came to England, they attacked a lot of churches and killed a lot of innocent people. So it's kind of like, I can't see how they're going to paint them in a good light unless they immediately just go like, we're Christians and we're really bad.
I don't know how you do, I guess.
We're evil English people.
Maybe, I guess you did. Well, they did that in like AC3 and the sort of the twist around all the, how do you like them apples and all that type of stuff, which is one of the best reveals in gaming history as far as I'm concerned. But they can do big old evil English people once again if they wanted to.
It was quite funny because I actually remember when Assassin's Creed 3 got launched, loads of my American friends were just kind of like, God, you guys are really bad back in the day. And I'm like, what are you on about? Play for a bit. And I was like, we weren't that evil.
We suck.
We were pretty evil.
We're pretty bad.
I was like, oh, jeez.
Yeah, especially in entertainment. So main character is going to be male or female. You can pick between the two, and then name is Jorah. Male-female split was something brought in Odyssey, which I don't mind. I absolutely love playing as Cassandra. I think she's called Cassandra. It's been a while since I played Odyssey, but I thought she was the better of the two. It's weird though, because if you go back through Assassin's Creed, it's known for its characters, whether it's Altair or Ezio or Edward Kenway. And so I think there is something in designing and writing a character, although I do like the choice as well. I think that they're going down this route because of the backlash towards whichever game it was where they were like, oh no, we didn't code both sides.
But you got to remember that it can work really well because obviously we have like FemShep and Male Shep as well. Like they definitely like work well as perfectly written characters.
My point is just that the amount that I'm sure she was called Cassandra. The amount because it was like Helios. Anyway, the amount that Cassandra took off, it was like you might as well have just made her the main character.
Right,
like, she was brilliant. She was so well written. Just go with that.
Okay.
But in terms of like I don't know authorship, but whatever. There's apparently going to be a choice, male or female, and the character's called Jorah regardless. Gameplay-wise, they're bringing back the Brotherhood recruiting stuff, which I loved.
That was actually really cool.
Yeah, and they didn't do that much with it after Brotherhood. Like AC2 and Brotherhood is around the time period where Patrice Désilets left the franchise, which is the creative director initially, and you can tell like AC3 had that big dip because he wasn't there anymore. And so, but with Brotherhood, you had that idea of recruiting various assassins, sending them on different missions, empowering them up, giving them equipment, and then you would just press L1 or LB, and you would just like whistle and call them in, and then your dudes would just drop in like out of nowhere and take people out. It was great.
That works with the Viking raiding party mentality because you could have like your little longboats coming up, and then all of a sudden it's just kind of like, right, we're attacking, send them off on like pillaging parties, gather resources and stuff like that. That could work quite well.
Yeah.
Like,
speaking of boats as well, apparently there'll be a whole bunch of like boat combat, boat traversal stuff.
To be fair,
been in for ages now.
We've said it so many times that Ubisoft, when they build a new mechanic, they want to use it in every single game that they've got because it's like we've got the technology to do so. And to be fair, when it came to Black Flag and even the most recent game, they've really perfected the idea of naval combat.
It's neat.
And I feel like they tried to obviously make a separate game.
Skull and Bones, I think, is on hiatus right now.
Yeah, but I'm glad to see that they're going to bring that side back in because they're good at it.
It's a solid enough mode. It's a weird thing because to me it doesn't really belong in a stealthy assassin game. It's fun, it's solid.
It works better in games where you don't have engines in your boats, obviously. And I do think that it could work if like you imagine like a misty morning and the boats sailing through before they attack. That could work quite well.
Yeah. So alongside the boat stuff. they said that you're going to be traveling to other realms. They include Asgard, and they mention Yggdrasil, which is the world tree that binds all the other realms together in Norse mythology, which means that they're playing way more into the supernatural side of things that was kind of brought in Origins. Because in AC Origins, you started fighting like Medusa and all these giant. I mean, most of it was done inside Bayek's mind initially, with these sort of like giant beasts and demons and whatever. And then Odyssey went like just Assassin's Creed's has been ludicrous for a while.
Yeah,
but they've had big old Soulsian boss battles for a while.
They
now.
rewrote history in like the first game, so they've just been getting more and more sort of like crazy and crazy. I actually preferred the move away from that because for me it feels like they're accepting that this isn't them trying to like, we are telling history exactly how it was and this is how it is. I prefer them to just be like, look guys, we're just having fun. We just want to have fun with history. Plus, it means if they're going to do this and bring in sort of like all of the beasts and bosses and stuff, if they're going to England, then maybe that can explain why we've got no dragons here.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean?
You'll probably be with, what was the dude, King George?
King George, yeah.
You probably go alongside him and kill the last dragon. Oh, I don't know if I want that.
Why not?
Because I guess I do. My whole thing with Assassin's Creed, the thing that I loved was that it was like, okay, here's everything that you think you know. By the way, all this other undercurrent, all this Illuminati-style war of like factions between Templars and Assassins was happening underneath all that. For me, that was the most fascinating stuff. But like I said, like you said, they've moved away from that.
It just got so guffy. Like it was just so much like mud in the way that I'm kind of glad if they just went like, look, the Illuminati, they're still controlling the world. Next, move on. I
want more world-ending meteors, Jules. I want them done better.
Are we going to get any sort of like modern day?
Yes, they did no details as to specifics, but they did mention that the modern day will return again. That's the stuff that I love.
They're never the best bits of the game.
No, but I just want them to do something cool with it.
Basically what happens is like, do you want to play the game? Here's the past. Do you want to actually have all the exposition dumped? Here's the cutscene.
The thing is, they went so far away from what that initial mission statement was for AC, where it was both sides. It was the big mystery in the future. Why are you even being thrown back into the past? And you found out at the end it was because there's big apocalyptic plan or whatever to control everybody with a mind-controlling satellite. And then after that, they just went increasingly more off the boil. And like I said, Patrice Désilets left the project.
Yes.
And a lot of the people that remained, I don't think they knew what to do with the modern day stuff anymore.
How do you go ahead with that?
Well, just make it a modern day parkour thing. They're giving Mirror's Edge in third person. Like it's not that hard to do something cool with it. They did bits of it in AC3.
Yes.
But they were so like corridor based. Yeah. But just let me play in New York as a big playground, like with a hidden blade and a blooming zip line and
it just sounds like a totally different game.
It's not. It's Watch Dogs, but good.
Keep all of that away. Put us in the Viking times.
You know, you might not be wrong. The last thing, which goes alongside the supernatural mythology type stuff, which almost ties in with what you mentioned earlier, is that you will apparently be meeting Odin and Loki.
Ooh.
Who didn't exist. So it confirms that you'll be in conversations.
I'm sure that there are people out there who believe that they do exist.
Well, they might do. Conversations with gods, essentially.
But you know what? That could be fine. Yeah. I would love it, especially. All they need to do to take all of this sort of fantastical thing and then boil it down to a slightly bit of realism is have you not be the person who experiences talking to them.
Right.
Have a guy on your team who speaks to the gods. And then that way you have to basically be like, do I trust what this person is saying? Cool. Because then that way you could have elements of the supernatural but nothing overblown.
Because did you in one of the DLCs for Odyssey, spoilers for Assassin's Creed Odyssey's DLC Atlantis, I forget what it's called, but you go to Atlantis, you find that well, the way that they tied the past events with the present day is they gave a character in the past a staff that made that she didn't age, and so that when your character in the present day goes down into Atlantis, you find your character from the past. Obviously, they're all the same bloodline, and she turns up with the staff, and she's like, "I've been here for thousands of years, or however long it is." And then they have a whole conversation. They've gone that far with it for me. So
didn't want to spend her time doing anything better.
No, I don't think so. I think she had to keep a hold of it to prevent dying and prevent the world blowing up or something.
Just leave a note.
I mean, just to keep a hold of it.
Literally, no, because if she was there standing there holding it, nothing clearly has come and took it from her, so she might as well. And she has to have slept with it then, as in like slept holding.
She's always there, yeah.
Oh,
just
stupid.
Waiting for someone to free her
up. But I want the
the
stupid to be action focused, heavy Viking stuff. Give us customization on like what horns do you want to put on your hat? Viking pies. Let's go. I'm going to pick you. Let's jump in the boat. Let's go.
No, I want stealth.
Nah, we're beyond stealth though now.
We're not beyond. The thing that I wrote in caps at the bottom of this is I want the hidden blade. God damn it! Give me it.
It's going to be a hidden axe.
Give me it. Like a little axe fragment that you sort of out your wrist or something.
Oh, mate, I just hope that we get to throw the axe and then control it mid-air and then control it, because that was the stupidest thing. And what we're going to have instead of eagle vision? Crow vision?
Is he good to fur vision? I don't know. The thing is that they've picked the time period.
You touch the pelt and you see what the animal
just running through the undergrowth. I don't know. They've got like the time period that they've picked, like we said before, plays into combat and like, you know, full on, like not stealth basically.
No.
Which for me is another. It can be fun. Assassin's Creed Odyssey was good fun, but it's not really a stealth focused Assassin's Creed game anymore.
But let's talk about the positives of it, though. Like the choice of location, and obviously like if it's England, Scandinavia, it means that we're possibly going to be getting some like breathtaking landscapes, like because it's a moody area of the world in terms of like it's very grey, it's very wet, but it's also picturesque.
What if it's just forever muggy?
But I would really like it, just like, you know, you hiking up mountains, kind of Death Stranding style, but with an axe sort of thing. Like that'd be great. And then say if they make it so that it's like a huge expanse of water that you've got to cross, and it's like it takes time to get there, so you got to like measure like rations and getting all your crew morale up, so that when you get there, they're in the best possible fighting shape.
Cool.
Like that sort of thing. I think if they could take that element of realism, the mythology and stuff like that could still sit side by side. People would still say, this is a really cool game.
Yeah, I think it's interesting based on what they did with Odyssey. Like I said, they ditched the Hidden Blade, they went all out action, they had all this like weird, almost Dynasty Warrior style army stuff, where you were one person in the middle of a giant army taking everybody on. That could easily be sort of put to one side as like the game that they experimented with, because it didn't even have the Hidden Blade, and then go back to what Origins was doing in terms of, you know, like the Assassin's Order and the formation of it, and whatever. They sort of did two origin stories. Like Origins was meant to be the origin story,
and then they were like,
and then Odyssey was set even before that, so it was like, okay, this is the origin of how the blade got to be in his hand, whatever. But yeah, I think that it's interesting seeing where Assassin's Creed is right now and what Ubisoft think, like the amount of data they have to pull from all their major franchises, and they're trying to make Assassin's Creed the every game. And I'm curious what they do going forward. But Assassin's Creed Ragnarok in a Viking setting has a lot of potential.
I am much more invested in this idea, but only because I've seen God of War kind of do it first. But I don't mind.
They can kind of piggyback off that.
Yeah, like if there's even remnants of that in this game, then I'd be very interested in checking it out. Like Odyssey wasn't for me. It was just because it was so much focus on bigger scale combat. I much prefer the personal stealthy assassin missions. But if it's like a raiding party of like 5 to 10 guys taking them with you or whatever, then that could be fine. I would like that. I would like just scale it down a little bit. Scale it down a little bit, give me a bigger world.
Yeah. Well, see, Odyssey was humongous. I just want them to have focus to the missions. I don't know. It's weird because even like the fan base has a million different opinions as to which Assassin's Creed is their favorite and which sort of direction they want and how action focused it became even before the overhaul in Origins. So yeah, I think that it has to retain something that was there at the beginning. That's kind of my thing.
Yes.
But I'm curious what they do with their stuff.
Well, there we go. That's our thoughts on Ragnarok, the potential new Assassin's Creed game that might be revealed next, what was it, February
12th.
And possibly have a November 2020 release date. Let us know what you think about it down in the comment section below. Are you excited about this news? Have you had enough of the Assassin's Creed, or is this going to be the game that pulls you back in if you're a lapsed fan like myself? If you want to chat further, you can do so at RetroJ for myself over on Twitter, and you follow Scott at
@/LP89.
You are damn right you can. Hope you have a fantastic day, whatever you are getting up to. We'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye.